Let's talk about angles. An angle is a geometric figure that consists of two rays that have the same endpoint. So I could take this ray, BA, and this ray, BC, and stick them together, and that makes an angle. It's just two rays that share an endpoint. The two rays are called the sides of the angle, and the endpoint that they share is called the vertex. So the vertex for this angle is point B, because that's the endpoint that both rays share. And the sides of this angle are ray BA and ray BC. All of the points that lie in between those two rays are considered to be in the interior of the angle. So this whole area shaded in purple is called the interior. And then the opposite of that would be the exterior. That's all the points that lie on the outside of those two rays, which would be everything else that is now shaded in orange. There are two different ways to name an angle. The easiest way is simply to write an angle symbol, followed by the name of the vertex. So for this angle, I could call it angle B. Please note that angle A and angle C would be incorrect names for this angle. Angle A would be this angle, that has A for its vertex. And angle C would be this angle, that has C for its vertex. All three of these angles have the same 3 points, but they're connected in different ways. It's angle B if B is the vertex, angle A if A is the vertex, and angle C if C is the vertex. However, there is another way to name an angle using all 3 of the points on the angle, but those 3 points have to be written in a certain order. Specifically, the vertex has to be written in the middle. So I could call this angle ABC or angle CBA. For both of these names, B is written in the middle of the 3 letters because B is the vertex, whereas point A and point C are just points on either of the 2 sides of the angle. Angle ABC and angle CBA are the only correct names that you could give to this angle. If you change around the order of the letters, like to make it angle BAC, then you're referring to a different angle completely. Those names would refer to this angle. An angle BCA, or angle ACB, would refer to this angle. So the order of the letters definitely matters. The vertex has to be written in the middle of the other 2 letters. You might be wondering, why do we have this more complicated way to name angles with all 3 letters? Why can't I just call this angle C and be done with it? Well, that's because not every diagram is so simple. Method 1, which is just calling it angle C or angle A or angle W, whatever it is, using just 1 letter to name an angle only works if there's only 1 angle coming from that vertex. However, if it's a situation like what you see on your screen now, that there's more than 1 angle coming from that vertex, then you have to name it with all 3 letters. If I just say angle B, it's not clear which angle I'm referring to in this diagram. So you have to be specific and call it angle ABC or angle DBC or whichever one it is that you're referring to. So let's get some practice. I want you to give this angle 3 names. The easiest way to name this angle, since there's only 1 angle coming from the vertex of K, is to just call this angle K. However, you could also name it using all 3 of the points on the angle. Remember that the vertex has to be written in between the other 2 letters. So you have 2 options. You could either call this angle JKL, notice that K is in the middle, and J and L are on either side. Or you could reverse it and say that it's angle LKJ. Again, K is in the middle, and the other 2 points are on either side. Let's look at this diagram. It's a little bit more complicated. There's actually 3 angles in this diagram. Do you see them all? Well, let's give them names. The first angle I see is this one, which I'll call angle WXZ. You could also call that angle ZXW, and it would refer to the same angle. I also see this angle. I'll call it angle ZXY. Again, you could also call it angle YXZ, and that would still be correct. And the last angle is the entire angle, which is angle WXY or angle YXW. And now you know everything you need to know about naming angles.